Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing all right. And I tell you what, I'm doing all right myself. I really am. I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you to each and every one of you out there for tuning in today. I really do appreciate it. And I would like to welcome all of you to another episode of TJ's Topics. And in case you didn't know, I am TJ. It is such a pleasure to be with all of you once again. I tell you, it really means a lot to me. I consider it a joy, an honor, and a privilege to be able to come into your presence on any given occasion. And I consider this occasion quite special because it's Mother's Day weekend. That's right. We are celebrating all of our wonderful mothers on this weekend. And if you are fortunate enough to still have your mother with you, then I want you to make every effort possible in order to wish her a very happy Mother's Day. On the other hand, if your mother has crossed over, if she's no longer with us, and therefore no longer with you, then just be thankful for the time that you and your mother did have together, because that too was a blessing. And I would also like to encourage all of you young ladies out there, if there are young ladies watching, to be very careful as to who you allow to make you a mother, because not all of these fellas out here have your best interests at heart. And you need to be mindful of that before you get in too deep with any of them. Okay. So with that being said, I would like to get into today's topic, which is image is everything and presentation matters. That is what we're talking about briefly today. Image is everything and presentation matters. Now, why would I say something like that? Well, it's very simple. Now, first of all, you look at what I'm wearing. Nice suit, shirt and tie, pocket square, and lapel pin. Because I care about my image. Now, mind you, I don't dress up on all my videos. I don't put on suits and ties all the time on everything I do. However, I do feel the need to come across as somewhat professional in a sense, as often as I can, because that to me exemplifies a certain level of professionalism. And along with that, it offers a sense of credibility. Therefore, I take pride in my image and, the way I look and the way I present myself to my audience, because I care about my audience. And if I want them to have the least bit of care about me, then I should go out of my way to try to make an effort in looking my best and doing my best. And everyone should have that same attitude and that same mindset when it comes to what they offer in terms of their gifts and talents and anything else. Because as the saying goes, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Do you know what I noticed today when it comes to this generation? And that is, this generation does not seem to have the least amount of concern about the way things look, or um, how they present themselves to a wide audience. I mean, it's like all they care about is, reaching a certain number of views and likes and clicks and stuff on their, um, whatever they do. But they should care more about the image that they're portraying to the world, you know. And of course, the world doesn't have to be the entire globe. We're not talking about the whole earth, but whoever their little audience is, it may be a dozen, a couple of dozen. It may be a couple of hundred, a couple of thousand, or a couple million if they're lucky enough. But no matter how big or small their audience is, they should care about how they come across to them. And not only on social media and all these other platforms, but I'm going to tell you another way that they need to care about how they present themselves. And that is when they go out in public. You know, during the time in which I grew up, back in the 80s and 90s, when we got home training, our parents taught us, raised us, and taught us how to carry ourselves publicly, how we should dress, how we should behave. You didn't see the type of stuff that you see now in this generation. For example, I never thought that I would live to see so many little girls and young ladies, grown women, walking around with big old bonnets on their head, looking like grocery bags, and I never thought that I would see so many people, both men and women, walking around in the daytime with their pajamas on, all out in public, in the grocery stores, in the laundromats, up at Walmart, and you name it. I mean, got their pajamas on and their slippers, got their do-rags on, their scarf, rollers in their hair. I'm telling you, it is absolutely ridiculous. Who in the world would allow themselves to go out looking like that? And the parents of today simply do not have the same level of concern when it comes to the image of their kids like the parents of yesterday did. My parents and their parents before them and so forth. Today's parents are the complete opposite of yesterday's parents. Because back in my day when I was a child, I could not and would not be allowed to leave the house without brushing my teeth, combing or brushing my hair, washing my face, taking a wash up, or if I didn't take a bath, might have took a bath the night before, so I just took me a wash up when I got up the next morning, putting on some deodorant, some clean clothes, neatly pressed, iron or whatever, smelling good, and then go out in public. I couldn't do that. I also couldn't throw my clothes everywhere like I see these kids doing today. Nice clothes, name brand shirts and jeans and even shoes. Just toss them in a corner somewhere. And having worked in the school district now for this is ending my 17th year, I have seen so many students just throw nice clothes everywhere, never to return for them, forgetting about how hard their parents had to work to obtain those clothes for them. And they sacrifice getting something nice for themselves to wear, trying to look out for them. I tell you, and then they just throw them anywhere and just leave them. Yesterday's children, those of us who grew up in the 1970s, 80s, and 90s, we would not have been allowed to do that by our parents. But this is a new generation. And you're talking about a whole different ball game now. So what may not have been allowed to slide back then, 20, 30, and 40 years ago, 50 years ago, it can slide now because basically the standards that we once had have been lowered severely. And that is terrible indeed. So I want you to understand that, okay? Image is everything and presentation matters. And always remember that you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So that's my topic for today. And I hope that you will take something away from it that will help you in the long run. And if you don't need the help, perhaps this help can be offered to someone else who does need it. So with that being said, I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you one more time for tuning in to this episode of TJ's Topics. I really do appreciate it. And be sure to tune in again next time when I will have another topic of interest. And there's no telling what that might be. And before I go, I would like to once again wish all of you lovely ladies out there a very happy Mother's Day. Enjoy yourselves. Do something for yourselves. Be kind to yourselves. And always remember to look out for yourself. This is Taryn Jerome Harris, reminding you that every round goes higher and higher. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.